Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. So today we're taking a little bit of a departure from an ATV review and we're focusing on the BAKFlip, the F1 Tonneau cover. This is for my 2015 F-150 Platinum. This is a Super Crew with a 6.5 foot box. So the BAKFlip Tonneau covers for the 6.5 foot box are actually 4 panel units. If you have a standard 5.5 foot box, they only come with 3 flippable panels. So as I had mentioned, this is a 2015. I've had it for 7 years now. I've only got 43,000 miles. This truck sits outside basically, all the time. It doesn't fit in my garage, so basically when I had bought the truck new, I had bought this cover. It is the BAKFlip. It is the F1. I thought it was the nicest looking cover out there at the time, especially since it's very low profile, seemed to have pretty good reviews, and went with it. So I had the cover for probably about maybe 2 to 3 years, and I started having an issue with these seams. So this is like a rubber gasket here, a rubber hinge, and each cover piece folds as you open it. Well, I had issues with these rubber hinges starting to move over. I had gaps in here. They were starting to leak, and then the same thing happened. I mean, this originally was a nice black color, and what had happened after about the first year or two, it started fading, and you've got all these white specks in here. And you can see, I mean, it looks really weathered. So I contacted BAKFlip, and they said, yeah, no problem. They would take care of it under warranty. Yeah, one other issue that I had too was a lot of times when you closed it, each of these 4 panels wouldn't always line up. So you'd have kind of almost like a crooked, alignment with the panels once they were closed. So what they ended up doing was they said they were going to send me a new cover, and it would only be the cover. They were not including the rails that you mount on the inside. They said once I got the new cover, what I needed to do was I needed to take the old cover, basically destroy it, cut the rubber hinges, and send them a picture with proof that the cover was destroyed. I guess they just wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to be, using 2 covers and, still keep the old one. So anyways, everything was good with that. What I noticed on the new cover, what was nice, so the original cover design that they had 7 years ago was that you had to close the tailgate first before you ended up closing the panel. If you close the panel and then close the tailgate up against it, you can end up damaging the unit. What was cool about the new one is the fact that, while the cover was in the down position, you could actually close the tailgate. And I really, really like that feature. So when they sent me to the new one, it was basically, no problem. You unbolted there's 2 screws up at the top. The whole cover lifts off. Like I said, I did not have to replace the rails on the side. These are the drip rails that are in there, and there's tubes, in the front that collect the water, that drain the water, so that you shouldn't get any kind of water dripping in here, which I had water coming in because of the problem with the hinges. So anyways, they sent me the new one, and what I had noticed as soon as I put the new cover on, when I was flipping the cover open, the cover was super, super light. I mean, it felt like 1/10 of the weight of my original cover. And I contacted back and I said, hey, you know what? Did you guys change the material and stuff? And the customer service rep had said, no, what ends up happening with these covers after about a year or so, these composite panels end up soaking up water, and the water never evaporates out of there, and the covers just end up getting heavier and heavier until they're at the one point of like literally total saturation. There's no water coming out here, but the covers are extremely heavy. And I just couldn't believe the weight difference with opening those. So had the new cover on, was using it. New cover seemed to work great. I liked the fact that it was light and easy. And, lo and behold, after about a year or two, the cover once again got to the point where you could hardly even open this thing. All right, so now picture, I'm 6'4", 230 pounds, not a lightweight. And, this first panel is, fairly easy to open, not too bad. And what ends up happening is, as you unlock each of these panels, the second panel actually doesn't even have a lock. Of course, with the weight of each panel now, it gets heavier and heavier. And I can't even begin to tell you how heavy this panel is. And I'm just doing this with one hand. There is no way I can lift these 3 panels or 4 panels up with just one hand. And it's at the point where you're sitting at the side of the truck, I can hardly even open it, using both hands. I usually either have my wife or my son on the other side, we do it, or the easiest way for me to do it now is actually to get in the back of the truck, climb in, and then, lift it open and lean it up here against here. So that is how heavy this back panel is. And once again, the water never evaporates out of there, and the cover never gets any lighter. So now let me tell you about the other issue, the big main issue that I was having with what I had noticed after the other replacement. All right, so now that I've got this heavy cover open, let me show you some of the issues I've been dealing with on the inside. So first of all, just a disclaimer, the dents that are in here, those are just from a result of either having cargo that was sitting up a little high and closing it, or actually having my Honda Rubicon in the back and the front bumper hitting that. So that's not the fault of this cover. The biggest fault is if you see these metal extension arms that are here, there's one on either side. And the way these are supposed to work is if you have the cover all the way open and you're going to be driving with the cover all the way open, you put these bars down here to prevent the top from flying back down while you're driving. Now, if you could see right away, the issue here is this particular one is all the way in the down position, okay? And it does not go down far enough for this rod to fit in. And the bottom line is the rod is actually too short. Now, in the original cover that I had, this was not an issue. What must have happened is the original cover, these adjustable brackets must have either been mounted down a little bit lower, or else they had a longer arm that would extend, that would allow this, arm to lock in. So unfortunately, I did not have the occasion to, put this into use with the cover all the way open until maybe about a year or two after BAK sent me the second cover. So, of course, I was quite amazed to see that these didn't fit and this didn't work right. So, I contacted BAK again on the same email thread that I had gotten my warranty work done with, and I had mentioned, hey, you know what, you guys sent me a new replacement cover, but unfortunately, I still had to use my original frames, side frames that are on here, and either the rods are too short, you guys must have changed something on the new cover because these rods do not, lock into place anymore. And the answer I got back was, well, you know what, we've already gave you a warranty replacement, there's nothing else I can do. And I replied back to them and I said, look, you guys replaced the cover, but did not replace the side rails. And unfortunately, you guys must have changed the side rails also, because they're no longer working together. And they basically came back again and said, you know what? No, sorry, there's nothing you can do. If you're interested in buying a new cover, we can give you a 20% discount, which does me nothing. And I had basically, replied back to them, you know what? I'm not buying another one of your products ever again. So you know what, for this reason, for their customer service, even though they were pretty good with replacing the first one, and just the fact, I mean, this issue of the cover, you know, absorbing all of the water and literally after 1 or 2 years becoming, you know, 3 times the weight, where you can hardly even open this cover anymore by yourself from the side of the vehicle. You know what, I really cannot recommend this product. So I know there's other manufacturers out there. I've taken a look. I know WeatherTech makes a nice cover. My only gripe with the WeatherTech one is, at least for this, you know, this size box, the 6.5 foot box, theirs is only a 3-piece unit, and the last piece that's closest to the, you know, the cab to the window does not fold open. So, you know, if you had something high, a big object, you know, you wouldn't be able to fit it under there. So you'd have to take the cover off. But anyways, that's basically it. Wanted to share with you guys my experience, my frustrations with them. If you have any questions regarding the product, please leave a comment in the link below, below, and I'll definitely try to answer. Thanks. Bye-bye.